So study chapter 21 verses 5 to 12. First two verses are one story and the remaining 6 verses are one story. And first two verses are quite unusual because they are using words which can be easily misunderstood.
माता रंग पिता रंग
लाइट जला है, लाइट जला
हंत्वा राजानो द्वेचा खत्ये रथन सानुचरण हंत्वा अनिगोय जाति ब्रह्मणो।
नेक्स्ट पढ़ दो क्योंकि उसी के साथ
मातारन पितारन हंत्वा राजानो द्वेचा सोथिये दीर्घ पंचामम हंत्वा अनिगो याति ब्रह्म।
So once we see the story, then it's easier to understand what is going on. See, once a group of monks was visiting Buddha, and when they were paying respect, one of the elder monks by the name Lapuntaka Bhaddiya, he just passed away. So Buddha told the monks these two verses. So he said that his person who has killed everybody and yet he is walking calmly without remorse. So Buddha, the monks really, but next kya ho raha hai? So Arhant cannot kill anybody. Then he explained to them, and you can see the meanings, so the simile so powerfully. Here the term mother refers to the craving, father refers to the conceit, I am. And then the two warrior kings are the views, two views, one of eternalism, other of annihilism. And the term country refers to the whole sense organs. And the followers are the attachment and lust which follow therefrom. So that's the first verse, no? Matarang Pitarang Handva. Mata और पिता को जिसने मार दिया. राजानो द्वेच क्षत्रिय, और 2 क्षत्रिय राजाओं को मार दिया है। रट्ठानं संचुरं हत्वा, दी कंट्री, राष्ट्र जो है, सारे राष्ट्र को मार दिया है। अनिभो याति ब्राह्मण, दिस ब्राह्मण इज मूविंग विदाउट एनी वरी, without disturbance. Then the second part again starts the similar. Matarang pitarang hantva rajano dveche sothiye. In addition to the Mata Pita, you think Rajano dveche sothiye, and 2 Brahman kings, wise kings. Vyagra panchanam hadva. Vyagra means tiger. So, having killed the 5th tiger as the 5th, aniho yati Brahmana. The Brahmana is moving undisturbed. So here the Brahmana kings are again the 2 extreme views, 2 of them, kind of as earlier. And tiger as a 5th is taken to mean 5 mental hindrances. It's removed all the hindrances which we already discussed. So this is one of those rare verses where Buddha uses very different kind of similes which are not so easily graspable unless one understands the meaning of them. So therefore the need for seeing the story. Next 6 verses are similar.
सुपा बुद्धम पबुजंती सदा गोतमसावाक्का ये सम दिवाचरतोचा निच्छम भमगता सति.
So let me read out for you all of them. They are very beautiful recitations of it can be done. Suppa buddham pabujjanti sada gautama savaka yesam diva charattu cha nityam buddha gata sati. Then again, suppa buddham pabujjanti sada gautama savaka yesam diva charattu cha nityam dhamma gata sati. You can see the difference is only one phrase only. Suppa buddham pabujjanti sada gautama savaka esam divacharatto cha nityam samgata sati. Suppa buddham pabujjanti sada gautama savaka esam divacharatto cha nityam paragata sati. Suppa buddham pabujjanti सदा गौतम सावका येसं दिवाचरत्तो च अहिंसाय रतो. सुप्पबुद्धं पबुज्झन्ति सदा गौतम सावका येसं दिवाचरत्तो च भावनाय रतो. Very popularly recitation perspective. He says, this describes what are the disciples of the Gautama, what is the characteristic? Suppa buddham pabujjanti sada Gautama savaka. So the disciples of Gautama are whose mindfulness is constant. Sada Gautama pabujjanti. Yesam devacharatto, those who divas mein aur ratri mein, day and night, nityam buddha gata sati. They are always aware of the Buddha. So this is that in the discourses also he mentions about Buddhanusati. This is the basis on which that Buddhanusati is sort of. They are the disciples who always are directing their minds to attributes of Buddha. Then Nityam Dhamma Gata Sati, thinking, reflecting only on the attributes of the Dhamma. Then Nityam Sangha Gata Sati, attributes of the Sangha. So that when you remember the qualities of them, then you try to get inspired and motivated to follow them. Then next comes Nityam Kaya Gata Sati, who are constantly aware of the body, who maintain the mindfulness of this. Every time it is where the mindfulness is. Sati is towards Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, then towards Kaya, then now it's not about Sati, it's about Rato Mano. Mind takes delight in what? Esam devacharatto cha ahinsaya rato mano. Those who are always delight in non-violence. And then Yesang Devacharato-cha Bhavanaya Ratavana, who are constantly meditating, who are taking delight in meditation. So these are the 6 verses, which were the story behind it again you may find a bit skeptical about the story. This is a story about a woodcutter who had gone to a forest with his son, and on the way back they stopped by a cemetery and somewhere there took their meal, and while they were eating, 2 oxen wandered away them, and when they realized the father went there are wanders away, so he went to search for the oxen, and he told the son to stay with the cart. And by the time he found the oxen in the city, the doors of the city were closed. So the child was left alone in the cemetery, and he was frightened. So then he was frightened, and he felt that 2 spirits are coming to frighten him. So he said, Buddham Saranam Gacchami, whatever he must have said, says, I pay homage to the Buddha. Then the spirits went away and didn't harm him. In fact, they protected him, and they went to the king's palace and brought some food from him. And the boy ate the food and slept until morning. And they left a message written on the food tray, which only the king could read, that the food they had taken from there. And this morning, when king's servant started to look for the tray, they didn't find. And eventually they found it to the boy. They thought he must have stolen it. And they took him to the king. But the king realized, found this note on the tray. And so he said, it's not as simple as that he has stolen it away. And the boy kept on telling them, I don't know anything. So then the king, when they found that the parents were sleeping at home, the child was over here, so he was a bit confused that who is telling the truth. So they took him to Buddha and explained what happened. And then of course Buddha could see what had happened and told him that he was guarded against danger because of his mindfulness about Buddha. And then he recited these 6 verses about the disciples of the Buddha. And they have become a very standard recitation for the households. So that's it. Pakkinaka means Pakkina means to scatter. Pakkinaga means verses which are scattered, which are miscellaneous. They are not on a particular topic. पिछले chapters में topic है कोई characteristic थी यमक वग्गो, twin verses, कोध वग्गो, ब्राह्मण वग्गो. Here they are scattered. So we have 5 chapters, pain body. Pain body essentially means sankharas, basically. Sankharas of aversion, mostly, which keep on manifesting in various ways. So we started the chapter with author telling about this involuntary thinking which happens, and one is not doing the thinking is happening to him. And then the concept of emotion came. Author had said that there is this primordial fear or anger which happens in case of any danger. There is a sudden energy which is released, but body can't distinguish between the actual danger and the thought about the danger, and emotion is a reaction to this thought. And the author said that there is this vicious circle which happens, that one is doing the storytelling in the brain,
and this storytelling will create emotions, and these emotions will further feed the energy to the thought, and this is a vicious circle which goes on. And then the author made a distinction between the negative emotion and the positive emotions, and all these thoughts or emotions which lead to fear, anxiety, grudges, sadness, these are all negative emotions. But author again cautions about the positive emotions, that sometimes if the positive emotions are from ego, they can easily turn the opposite way quickly if the conditions are not met. Like when the ego calls, love is possessiveness, and addictive clinging can turn into hate within the seconds. And then the author was told about this small story about a duck with human mind. If the two ducks fight, and when the fight is over, they swim in opposite directions and behave.
Small children behave like that.
Yes, small children behave like that. And
Like
nothing is happened.
and within a few minutes, okay.
Yes, but as humans, we keep carrying these fights in our brain for long duration, even after when the fight has been over. And there was another story about two monks. Situation happened to them. Then one monk keep thinking about that situation, and the other monk eventually tells him that I had put the girl down hours ago, and you are still carrying her. And here author introduces the definition of pain body, that many people carry a large amount of unnecessary baggage, both mental and emotional, throughout their lives. They limit themselves through grievances, regret, hostility, guilt, and their emotional thinking has become their self, and so they hang on to this old emotion, because it strengthens their identity. And the author actually brings up this concept that this negative side, this negative emotions, they become this part of self, and one seeks identity through them, and this what author calls the pain body. Then author talks about that about individual and collective ego, where this pain body is being carried through generations of our mankind history, through this tribal warfare towards all the torture or all the violence which has been happening. And he says that sort of this has been and it's still going on.
Yes, see what's happening in Palestine.
Yes. And so regarding this Palestine situation, I found something very interesting when I read in the newspaper, that in earlier fights which used to happen, all the countries like Saudi Arabia or Egypt, they used to actually oppose the Israel attack on Palestine, and eventually they used to build pressure on the United States, that which then eventually United States will ask Israel to stop, and possibly that's how the conflict will stop at that moment. But this time what is happening is that this actually turned into again the fight between Shia and Sunni, and the Saudi Arabia and Egypt, and they are actually worried of the Shia militants in Palestine, this Hamas. Yeah. And they themselves actually, they are not actually
Not in a different situation now.
yeah, and they are not stopping Israel, and Israel actually is going deep.
They are considered to be more liberal than Sunni.
Yeah.
But what I heard also and saw yesterday or some time ago, actually the Iranians have vacated the Gaza Strip for that. And they have given it to Palestine. But since the Hamas took over,
Yeah.
they have built underground tunnels there,
Yeah.
all of them Gaza Strip. And from those bunkers they put rockets into Israel.
Yeah.
They built houses, and alternate houses are actually empty. They are only full of soldiers, and they have been completely booby trapped. So if any person comes, then he will be blown up. The house will be blown up, and people will be blown up. So now therefore this is such a deadly war that is going on. They are destroying the whole thing. So this time it is a very bloody war. I don't know how long they will keep on fighting.
I think more than around 1,500 people would have possibly died.
But there is a movement in Israel as well as Palestine of the people who are trying to understand that they are suffering, both are suffering. But the fringe groups are not allowing them to really come to a peaceful agreement. I remember there was a teacher, Stephen Harry. He had organized retreats for Palestinians and Israelis together. And at the end of the retreat, he would ask them to do what is called listening. So one group will speak, then the other group will listen. This group will speak, other group will listen. So that they understand that they are both suffering because of the basic state of the mind. And that had produced some effect, but unfortunately there is some fringe groups which are not allowing the peace to come. So the possibility of peace is getting hurt because of this collective ego.
You are only pain body. Ego and pain body.
What he is saying is the repressed emotions within us, which are essentially what we call in the other languages sankhara, the strong repressions which can come out any time. You just need a trigger, and I have, when you say somebody is inflammable, it essentially means he has suppressed his anger very much. And somebody says anything and he bursts into anger. So that people call it sankharas in that. Of course, at the root of sankharas are the ego notion.
And so the next section is how the pain body renews itself. The author says that pain body, like all life forms, periodically needs to feed to take new energy, and then any emotional painful experience can be used as a food by the pain body. That's why it thrives on negative thinking. And
Then strengthening of sankhar बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. गोयनका जी कहते हैं वचन में आप तो अपनी परिस्थिति आई, गुस्सा आ गया, फिर आपने गुस्सा कर दिया, फिर संस्कार बढ़ते, हैबिट पैटर्न स्ट्रांग होता जा रहा है. गुस्से का हैबिट पैटर्न स्ट्रांग हो रहा है. अगर आप उसको देख लें तो धीरे 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 वीक हो जाएगा, आदत बदल जाएगी. सिंपल टू अंडरस्टैंड, so difficult to do, but at least understanding it is. Depression does not work. People can try that. I have tried it in the earlier phase of my practice. It creates enormous problems, health problems. You apply your mind, your willpower. नहीं करेंगे तो फिर मुश्किल हो जाएगा.
How is depression different from restraining yourself?
Depression on the basis of that desire is arising, especially of the desires. A desire is arising and you are repressing नहीं, मुझे ये खाना नहीं, इससे मेरे मन में कामना बढ़ती चली जाएगी. And then you forcibly prevent yourself. You don't look at it. You don't see it in the sense as an object. Press it. मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है, आप इसको भी कर रहे हो, मुझे गुस्सा करना चाहिए, मुझे आ रहा है गुस्सा. And then you force it in. गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए, गुस्सा नहीं करना. You're not seeing what is happening. Being aware of the fact that it is an independent entity. It's not you. Anger is the reason. Not observing it. You're saying अरे गुस्सा आ गया मुझे मत अगला को गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए दबा देते हैं गुस्सा. So this is the difference. No suppression, expression and observation. Expression would be आ गया गुस्सा ठीक है जो हो रहा है तो ठीक है. You hit another person, shout, whatever you do. You express the emotion. In case you repress the emotion. The middle path is you observe. The emotion is arisen, you just observe. You don't let it express itself. And even if it expresses itself, you just observe that also.
For example, if we then where does the restraining yourself from the unwholesome actions?
That is part of the suppression process, of course.
That's very strong statement. That हम शीला को काफी सेक्रोसेंट मानते हैं.
नहीं सेक्रोसेंट है अभी बिल्कुल. बट कैसे कहा शील कैसे लेते हैं? पाता वेरमणि सिक्खापदम समाधियामि. सिक्खापदम दिस इज द रूल ऑफ ट्रेनिंग. I am taking the resolve of training myself to not to abstain from killing people. I am training myself. This is the process of training. कभी तो कहते हैं ना शील अपने में नहीं काम हो पाएगा जब तक प्रज्ञा नहीं जागेगी. तब वो सहज हो जाएगा.
So शील to begin with will always start with repression.
जब हम शिविर करते हैं और we come with a very very different personality. I mean, I can easily tell you. You can easily see it in Tihar Jail what happens. People are coming there with a big baggage of actions which they have done and tendencies of that kind. And once in a while it happened there at the center also. That tendency got manifest. But they come, they are told, पहले बता देते हैं भैया 10 दिन तक कोई शराबी से हेराफेरी नहीं करनी. उसके बाद जो उम्र भी कर लेना. सो दे मेक ए रिजॉल्व कि हाँ ये नहीं करना. ऐसा नहीं कि वो 10 दिन शेयर करने के बाद जाते हैं तो बिल्कुल शांत हो जाते हैं. ऐसा नहीं. कुछ को फर्क पड़ता है, कुछ फिर भी अपने काम में लग जाते हैं.
शिविर में तो कुछ समझ में आता है क्योंकि शिविर में हमारा इंटेंशन ही वही होता जाना प्रैक्टिस करने का. बट डेली लाइफ में हाउ
अंडरस्टैंडिंग
टू बी रेस्ट्रेंट एंड से कि
इट इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग. वंस वी अंडरस्टैंड कि भाई मैं अगर किसी झूठ बोलूंगा तो मैं खुद दुख पाऊंगा तो मैं झूठ बोलना कम कर देता हूँ. लेकिन आप देखेंगे ये झूठ बोलना कितना मुश्किल है इसको कम रोकना. हाउ डिफिकल्ट इट इज. प्राणियों की हिंसा नहीं करूंगा वो कंपैरेटिवली आसान है क्योंकि इट क्रिएट्स मोस्ट ऑफ अस वी हैव अ रिवल्शन टुवर्ड्स किलिंग एनीथिंग. बट चींटियों को मारने में कुछ नहीं महसूस होता. But as you become more and more aware, more and more sensitive, चींटी के मरने में भी कष्ट होने लगता है. You try to walk, you are going for a walk and you see in the floor the चींटियाँ पे बदल रही हैं. So that is the power of Sammaditthi. So if you have Sammaditthi, then it is natural.
if it does not come natural,
Then you start with understanding. तो भाई ये मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए. इससे लोगों का
do we still do repression to follow this?
it will be in some cases it may be.
Or do we say that I am just, it's not me,
But for a beginner it's not possible to say that, isn't it? For a person who is just beginning spiritual practice, for him to see कि मैं झूठ नहीं बोलूँगा, निंदा नहीं करूँगा, चुगली नहीं करूँगा, गॉसिप नहीं करूँगा, out of a clarity of pragya, he will have to apply himself. मैंने पहले बताया था ना वितक्क संघाता सुत्ता. He gives a series of advice on how to prevent the mind from getting into negative thought processes. First is observation. Later on it is hard task, including कि अपनी जीभ को तालू से लगा लो और clench your fist and make sure that you don't allow this thought to go further. Straight repression. But when it is accompanied by wisdom, then the impact of depression is much less. Because some of these precepts are so strong, most of us will not feel like breaking them. Adinna dana very many. If you take it in the true spirit, I think we tend to break it so often. By taking things which don't belong to us. Generally, if you take it to the hilt, think very deep. And so you practice. As you mature in Dhamma, you find even little perturbations you find impossible to do. And then it becomes natural. Because we are not aware, so we are doing things सभी लोग कर रहे हैं. सोचिए.
My own feeling is that actually the determination is the repression in my experience. It operates in both. But the Darsa bata rahe hain, in the second case that it is where I'm experiencing, the operation of the determination is coming from this thing that this is not self, and whereas in the first case it's coming from a sense of whatever, right, wrong, or anti.
But second case when it is not coming from self, it is nothing else, so then we let it do what it expresses itself as. वहाँ repression हो नहीं पा रहा. Because we don't take it seriously. Very bluntly. तो वहाँ पर लगता है कि the only thing that is needed is to observe things and not take it personally, and because of the past tendencies, if there are things that still happen, we will not try to repress them. Probably the word repress is, you are taking it in a very strong sense. See the Samma Vayama, one of the elements of thought. What does it say? If the person puts effort, he strives himself to ensure that negative tendencies from outside don't enter into him. And for negative tendencies within him, they go out. So he's putting in effort. Positive tendencies in him are strengthened. Positive tendencies in him do not hinder away, do not go out. It's so easy to drop our positivity, you know. So easy. So how is this different from what we just mentioned when we started to practice and when a new student is going, for him or her, the very statement that you don't have to speak is a repression of the highest order. कहते हैं 9 दिन शायद मौन रहो, मन करता है बोलने का, और तो समझ नहीं है कि बोलना नहीं चाहिए, तो उससे क्या हो जाएगा? तो पागल है, ये लोग परेशान करते हैं, इनका अपना वो रिचुअल है, मत बोलो. And there are people, there are traditions where mat bolna and keeping silence is a practice, regular practice, not just in the camp. But surprisingly, they won't understand that keeping silence is a mental phenomenon. It's not a tongues phenomenon. So वो लिख के बात करेंगे. क्या हुआ? I remember long back, I had gone to there when Vinoba was there. So I told him on there. छोड़ नहीं जाएंगे. मैं नहीं वो लिख के जवाब देते. अजीब लगा यार. Vinoba ना देखा. Then I didn't go, of course. I don't know what happened. Was it later? Or I don't know. I think there is some time confusion in my mind. I was really astounded. What is this? अगर लिख के ही बात में कम्युनिकेट करना है तो ये मुझसे ही बोल दो ना, क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है? Is it exercise of the tongue or is it exercise of the mind?
So he was considered to be very.
Yeah, he was a very renowned thinker and
kind of the unofficial thing after Gandhi.
Yes, to some extent. So it's not that he did out of anything to show off. He did it because that's what his understanding was. There's a tradition which has the same understanding. No? The whole Jain tradition has this understanding. Silence रखना चाहिए, but it does not mean that you cannot communicate in other means. So it's not that, it's basically the perception, it's basically the thing, the way you look at it. If you don't look at it deeply, you get caught on the superficialities. Then, under that situation, I presume, not speaking is a repression. Does it sound sensible?
So did you like में मुझे confusion?
हाँ तो बिल्कुल अच्छे साधक को उसमें पढ़ना ही नहीं चाहिए. You should just observe what is happening. What is happening. And naturally the things will get reorganized. But as your sensitivity increases, you will find there will be more and more difficulties. Because you will become sensitive about things about which you were not sensitive earlier.
But usme, at least in my experience, if you even mindfully allow its expression, तब भी वो दिक्कत बढ़ती जाती है.
हाँ, because ये सेल्फ इमेज ना, तो इतने साल साधना करके ही मैं गुस्सा कर रहा हूँ, इमेज ब्रेक हो जाती है. उस समय बेशक हमने माइंडफुली भी कहा, but we ourselves are not ready to kind of accept this. कि मुझसे ऐसा हो गया है, कि मैं जो है वो बहुत बुरी तरह से पकड़ा हुआ है ना उसमें. हमारी सेल्फ इमेज जो है बहुत कष्ट मिलती है.
माइंडफुल मैनिफेस्ट होता कब नहीं हुआ.
हाँ तो पता ही प्रॉब्लम है शायद. Not only that, actually to express it mindfully is extremely hard. I mean, it needs a great amount of practice. Then actually what means you're playing a role. Isn't it? You're doing a drama. Perfect, no problem. You're aware that you're doing. अब ये बच्चा मानेगा नहीं ऐसा, अब उसको डांटना ही पड़ेगा. आपने डिसाइड कर लिया, तो आप गए और डांट के आ गए. Then you have planned and you're mindfully doing it. बट होता क्या है कि ये प्लान करने के बाद भी आप गुस्सा करते हुए यू गेट कैरिड अवे बाय इमोशन एंड देन यू कम बैक एंड सफर. मर गया मैं तो बच्चे को समझा क्या मुसीबत पाल ली हमने. समझते ही नहीं, कीप ऑन रिवर्बरेटिंग इन द माइंड. तो वो माइंडफुलनेस चली गई ना. इट वाज नॉट ए टास्क व्हिच वाज डन फॉर द सेक ऑफ ए नोबल ऑब्जेक्टिव. I myself got engulfed in the task. कई बार बताया, बहुत बार बताया.
I have myself really struggled a lot with, and I call it determination. That's why actually I find the Adhityan thing very useful.
Yeah.
In the
Adhityan
cultivation of
is,
that.
in the beginning, it's and in the process of strengthening our Shila, Adhityan is very good, very useful. But we know what it is for. We know its utility and also its limitation. You're aware of it, no? You're not.
But that's not in चीजों में भी you are mindful कि हाँ अब एक state arrive किया, especially the subtler states. I guess I find anger etc. is somewhat easier to deal with. You know कि अभी उठ रहा है, and then the same thing कि it's almost a self-rationalization. कि हाँ ये तो condition से उठ रहा है तो उठ जाएंगे इसको, and you know express हो जाएंगे. That's where I have found the application of determination useful. Because what, in my experience, what's happened is that as you allow its expression, and that's what I'm calling a mindful allowing of expression. It's actually caused unwholesome states to further, strengthen and so forth. That's
You return a bit.
Shailesh had written that Adhityan has some shades of repression in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we actually talked.
I mean, the Adhitana is, when it becomes normal, isn't it? It will eventually become normal.
that is getting used to it till you and mind as a mind body that get used to it. Till that point, it is kind of restraining yourself or.
There is an element. I mean, there is an element. You can't deny that.
We see people coming in the it's so difficult for them to, and they bear so much of pain and almost by repression.
Yeah. Certainly. I have even beyond. Those who have gone through extreme pain is just because there is an expectation. By going through this, I will get relieved from this eventually. And it happens. So it works. No denial of it. When you are sitting and experiencing very heavy pain, there is a tendency to move it away, to move that pain. Then we apply your understanding. So the deeper the understanding, lesser will be the depression. So the understanding of attachment to the body or the mind is not there, then you are depressing to that extent. And when you do it joyfully, no depression. See, depression क्या होगा? And there is no depression. You do it joyfully. And that's why it is advised. You do Adhitana to the extent you can do without creating aversion. If the aversion starts happening, and then you internally start cursing yourself and the people who are making you to do this, you know that there is nothing to be achieved in that process. You are actually increasing your sankhara of aversions. So this is a standard advice given. भाई कोशिश पूरी करो, इतना ही करो जितने ये नहीं कि बैठे हुए और अंदर द्वेष ही जागे जा रहा है. भैया अगर द्वेष जाग रहा है तो पॉस्चर बदल लो, हल्का सा बदल लो, थोड़ा सा बदल लो ताकि पेन कम हो जाए. And then learn to go through that. You have to learn. So that learning process is slowly bringing about a transformation in the understanding and in the ability of the bodies. Both the things are occurring at physical level as well as at the mental level.
The Shailesh makes comment that at times ego gets bloated when you achieve a return.
Yeah, definitely. Right.
Actually, it becomes more of a counter in the mind कि अपना इतने रिटर्न करेंगे इसके अपने 3 दिन बचे हैं इतने और करने हैं.
It depends on understand. Primarily, we don't give much importance to understanding. That's why these problems arise. Then it becomes a kind of क्या कहना चाहिए? Becomes like a marathon.
एग्री होता ही है
वो अजान चाह का बड़ा इसमें वो ब्यूटीफुल एक वो आता है एनेक्डोट. I don't think that just by sitting continuously for long periods of time you'll get enlightened. Then if that was so, the hands would have got enlightened long back. They sit on their eggs for days without movement, without anything. So who takes it to the other point of and just to bring out the point उससे पछड़े में मत पड़ो भाई कि मैं कितनी घंटे इकट्ठा एक से पास आसन में बैठ सकता हूँ. That is not an indicator of your enlightenment. That may be an indicator of your ability of the body and the mind to kind of strong determination. It's not a sign of enlightenment.
So just there is this paradox that initially when one starts meditation, he has to apply this willpower and determination. But as one grows,
As it is expected that as one goes through various days of the course, he understands why it is being done. He understands the nature of reality to some extent. And then, next time when he comes, it is easier for him to do so. Partly because of the body practice and partly because of understanding. You see, if his body is used to sitting in this posture, तो फिर उसको बैठने में दिक्कत नहीं होगी. अंग्रेज जाने आते हैं उनको बहुत दिक्कत होती है. They are not used to it. So it's also a question of conditioning of the body.
but also you are also saying that as one progresses further,
It becomes natural.
so
A particular way of sitting, particular way of.
but then one also needs to, rather than trying to define what to do in meditation, one needs to just let things happen and just be witness to that.
Yeah, that's what Satipatthana is. Whatever is happening, just observe. तो शील की बात हो रही थी ना. We are discussing about शील, about the moral precepts. Do they entail some element of repression? So my submission was that as the understanding develops, the extent of repression becomes smaller and smaller. It becomes a natural expression of your understanding. Then it is natural. Then in fact, breaking the Shila will become a problem for you. There may be a situation तुम चाहते हो कि मुझे शील तोड़ना और फिर you will find it abhorrent. You can't do that. But some of the Shilas are so subtle, झूठ बोलने वाला शील जैसे इतना subtle है that if you are not sensitive, you will not feel it.
बोलने वाला तो काफी plain झूठ.
Yeah, exaggeration, concealing things and exaggerating. They all have their roots in ego.
Actually, basic gossip के अंदर भी exaggeration होता है. Can't do gossip. Don't try to exaggerate things.
तो प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में तो और डिफिकल्ट ये लाइन तो और ज्यादा फाइन हो जाता है.
कोई तो क्या प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में even to draw the line of what I should take and not take becomes very difficult. Then either one is extra cautious or you just operate in a manner that you don't really get into trouble from the spiritual perspective, not talking of from the legal perspective, because legally so many things may be right, but they will not be right otherwise.
बहुत सारी चीज़ें हमने कन्वीनियंट बना दी हैं, इसके लिए टर्म्स बना दिए, ये मैसेजिंग है, ये मार्केटिंग स्पिन है तो ये करके हम जस्टिफाई कर देते हैं कि ऐसे बोलना ठीक है क्योंकि ये मार्केटिंग के हिसाब से अच्छा है.
So this is question by Shlesh. Is concealing not that same as don't speak if it is not useful?
Yeah, if it is being done because it is not useful, fine. If it is being done because for deception, fine. If you are not speaking with something because you feel by speaking it nobody will be benefited, that's perfect. That is being done out of compassion. The motivation, the intention is important. If you are concealing कि इससे मेरी इमेज खराब हो जाएगी अगर मैं बता दिया मैंने ऐसे किया था, then the situation is totally different. No? Most of the time concealing is done because of that.
This point you made was very interesting, especially marketing का. So tell me, एक तो है संस्थागत स्तर पर, एक है व्यक्तिगत स्तर पे. अब इसको कैसे, let me ask you, how do you sort of, when I ask Darshan
देखो हमारी संस्था तो मार्केटिंग करती ही नहीं है. I chose a job where I couldn't get into this complication.
It's hard, very hard, very hard. We like to think कि हम झूठ नहीं बोलते, लेकिन and it's not just external marketing, it is also about internal marketing. It is about communication to your employees. आपको उनको मोटिवेटेड रखना है, तो आप कहोगे कि ये एक पॉलिसी चेंज है, इसको अगर ऐसे कहेंगे तो ये डिमोटिवेट कर देगा, तो इसमें अब एक मैसेजिंग करते हैं, इसको ऐसे बोलते हैं तो उसका पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट दिखेगा, नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट नहीं दिखेगा. या ऐसे बोलने से ऐसा नहीं है कि इंटेंशन गलत है, मतलब जो पॉलिसी चेंज होना ही है, यू आर रिकंसाइल्ड टू दैट, लेकिन उसको ऐसे प्रेजेंट करते हैं कि वो उनको नेगेटिव थॉट की जगह पॉजिटिव लगे. अब ये बहुत मुश्किल है कहना कि आप झूठ बोल रहे हैं या क्या कर रहे हैं. यू आर बेसिकली प्लेइंग ऑन, और यू आर होपिंग दैट समवन एल्स विल नॉट बी एबल टू सी थ्रू एंड द नेट रिजल्ट विल बी, ही विल बी हैप्पियर. Maybe the intention is right, but उसको हैप्पी रखने में आपकी भी वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट है कि मेरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को उससे फायदा होगा. तो ये बड़ी अजीब सी सिचुएशन है. इसलिए ये कह पाना कि मैं कभी झूठ नहीं बोलता, ये एक्चुअली पॉसिबल ही नहीं.
So it's a great example. So the issue is of volition.
Intention, yeah, everywhere the issues of Chaitanya, every action. It is the evolution behind it, which is the thing to be taken care of.
तो ये अच्छा उदाहरण था. आप कैसे in terms of volition, the volition seems to be consistently missionary, consistent, even if there is a concealment
और डेली केसेस आ जाती है, जैसे वर्क फ्रॉम होम. अब हमें पता है अगर हम एम्प्लॉय को पूरी खुली छूट दे दें कि आप घर से काम करो, तो बहुत से लोग मिसयूज करेंगे, नहीं होगा काम. लेकिन कोई जब पूछता है कि भाई फ्लेक्सिबल टाइमिंग्स है, ये है, आप वर्क फ्रॉम होम क्यों नहीं करते, क्यों नहीं करने देते, हम ये नहीं कहते कि तुम मिसयूज करोगे, नहीं करने देते. हम क्या कहते हैं कि हम लोगों के काम में कोलैबोरेशन चाहिए और लोगों से इंटरेक्शन चाहिए. अगर आप एक्सक्लूसिवली घर से काम करोगे तो वो नहीं हो पाएगी, स्टेटस विल बिकम हार्डर. तो ऑन सिलेक्ट बेसिस, फैमिली नीड है, इमरजेंसी, तो करने देते हैं, अदरवाइज प्रोडक्टिविटी कम होगा. ये नहीं कहते कि सीधी बात किया तुम काम ही नहीं करोगे, हमें पता है, और हो सकता है कुछ लोग काम करें भी सही, बट ये कह पाना कि मेजॉरिटी मिसयूज करेगी इसलिए नहीं करना, ये बोला नहीं जा सकता. तो अब आप कह तो झूठ ही रहे हो कि भाई सच तो ये है कि आप लोग मिसयूज करोगे इसलिए नहीं करने देंगे हम, लेकिन ये कहना बड़ा मुश्किल. देन यू आर बेसिकली टेलिंग देम आई डोंट ट्रस्ट, लेकिन सच्चाई यही है कि दैट आई डोंट ट्रस्ट.
So that's fine, ना? Because Raman, if you apply that filter कि जिस सच से किसी का फायदा ना हो, etc., etc.
ये फायदा किसका हो रहा है? ये हम अपना फायदा सोचते हैं ना कि ये अगर हम ऐसे बोलेंगे तो एम्प्लॉय कहेगा अच्छा मुझे ट्रस्ट नहीं करते तो प्रोडक्टिविटी और खराब हो जाएगी। तो कहीं ना कहीं मैं अपना फायदा ही सोचा, मतलब अपना मतलब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का फायदा। अब ये बड़ा मुश्किल है कहना कि अपने रोल में हम और क्या कर क्या सकते हैं इसके अलावा, लेकिन क्या हम सच बोल रहे हैं? आर वी फ्री टू स्पीक ट्रूथ? मार्केटिंग है, प्रोडक्ट को कैसे प्रेजेंट कर दें कि वो उसके लिए $200 और ज्यादा दे दे कस्टमर, वो these are all debatable.
We are tasked to do that.
तो बिजनेस का गोल है, तो अब ये हम ये कर रहे हैं कि इसको ऐसे प्रेजेंट करो कि उनकी मेमोरीज और उनकी इमोशंस को अपील कर जाए। अब यू आर मैनिपुलेटिंग देयर पीपल।
Yeah, the whole field of advertising is a very, very slippery field. So that's why it is understood that a householder's life is quite rough.
क्योंकि सर क्या बताओ प्रैक्टिकली और क्या किया, जैसे आपने कहा हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तो मार्केटिंग करती नहीं,
So you are free.
बाकी लोग क्या करें?
वही तो मैं बता रहा हूँ ना. So in terms of what should I say, samma ajivo, one can be careful. But majority of this world, caught up in the materialistic framework, is bound to behave in that manner. It directly follows from that world. So, mere survival, if it is forcing you to compromise on issues, what can you do?
And the risk is the society by and large, even when organizations preach as well as practice highly ethical behavior. Yes, Adobe is known for its highly ethical behavior, but when it comes to things like these, I think there is a very slippery slope where people even take this as an ability that you are able to message your things, market them in a manner that other people like it. So it almost becomes, if you can't do this, this is a discipline. And so at some point where you are speaking a lie may actually become a quality that you are able to message your point very well. It's very hard. We have institutionalized these things.
Very right. So within, there is a collective karma of humanity. We are all a part of it. You can't escape from it. तो इंटरकनेक्टेडनेस है ना बहुत सारी, आप अगर सबसे इंटरकनेक्टेड है और सब तरफ से इनपुट्स आ रहे हैं, सो यू कैन नॉट mere survival may demand that you have to even for monks it becomes so difficult. So what to talk of householders?
So how does it is बहुत difficult है?
बहुत difficult. No doubt about it. I mean, all the Shilas are very, very difficult to implement. If you really are sensitive, very difficult. अब जो पांचवा शील भी है ना, सुरा मेरे या मज्ज प्रमादक खाना वेरमय, मीन्स टेकिंग wine, sura and majja are two different. One is rice wine, other is some wine. Wine. प्रमादक थाना. प्रमादक थाना मीन्स ऐसे स्थान जहां से जाने से प्रमाद उत्पन्न होता है. Going to which places you lose your mindfulness. I'll abstain from that. Now, to what extent will you take it? You normally say कि भाई जुआ नहीं खेलेंगे, जुआ खेलने नहीं जाएंगे, लास वेगास में कैसीनो में नहीं जाएंगे. There you get totally lost. But you can understand its implications are much deeper. Activities where I lose my mindfulness totally.
That could be movie watching.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Even अखबार.
At times,
actually, also morning में newspaper पढ़ना can be addictive.
बिल्कुल. So to be able to mindfully live in this world is enough of practice. It's quite tough, isn't it? So we don't take it to extremes. Just keep our mind as sensitive as possible, as mindful as possible. As soon as we become cognizant, because of increased sensitivity, we see whatever we can do about it.
Slish is making the comment that at movies don't we lose mindfulness too?
Yeah, certainly. If you are seeing a movie and remember all the time ये तो movie है, तो यार पैसे खराब करने आया था क्या मैं?
तब शायद नहीं होगा. Then you are not lost in the movie. Then you are lost in the thought कि मैंने क्या होगा.
सर अगर मूवी देखने जाए और मूवी अच्छी ना निकले तो वो तो अलग ही माइंडफुलनेस आ जाती है.
So we have to accept that we are living in a toxic environment and there will be toxicity.
So the section is how the pain body renews itself, and we just said that an emotional painful experience can be used as a food by the pain body. That's why it thrives on negative thinking. And as we have already discussed, that you need even more awareness to see it in yourself, to recognize that one is having this pain body and one is renewing itself, and it's very difficult. That's what the author is also saying. And the next section is that how does the pain body feeds on your thoughts. And the author is bringing from physics here and says that physical matter is like energy vibrating at a particular range. And then he extends and says that thoughts are also energy vibrating at a higher frequency than the matter, which can't be seen or touched. And then the author is making further distinction that the negative thoughts and positive thoughts are vibrating at different frequencies, with the negative thought at the lower frequency versus the positive thought at the higher frequency. And then comes its conclusion that this vibrational frequency of the pain body matches with that of negative thoughts. So that's why these negative thoughts feed on to the pain body. And again, the author mentioned about this vicious circle which gets established between the pain body and our thinking. That every thought feeds the pain body, and in turn, pain body generates more thoughts. And what author actually mentioned here is that at some point, after few hours or even few days, it has replenished itself and returns to its dormant stage, and leaving behind the depleted organism and a body that is much more susceptible to illness. If that sounds like a psychic parasite, then you are right. That's exactly what it is. So ये dormancy वाला एंगल थोड़ा क्लियर नहीं है.
जैसे हमको वो तो नहीं आता ना, जैसे मान लीजिए और अभी इवेंट हो गया, घर में bereavement हो गई, at a very young age or something, which is not really expected, but that creates enormous anguish. But how did it last? At the superficial level, at the conscious level, slowly and slowly it becomes dormant. Then we start getting into our day-to-day activity, but it does not go away. The moment you are free from other activity, because of your busyness and activity, you forget it. The moment you are free and sit by yourself, again that thought will come. Oh, this will happen. This should not have happened. And you suffer. So this has gone into dormancy, so it is not removed. So, and that dormancy keeps on eating you from inside. You will fall ill when you have a situation of that kind. I remember when our son died, My wife developed a boil here. She was going to, after I think 15 days or so, she started going to school. पढ़ाती थी स्कूल में जाती थी. Apparently does nothing. तो स्कूल में आप बिजी रहोगे ना, सुबह सुबह चले गए, जाना है, उसकी तैयारी हो रही है, वापस आ रहे हो, फिर तैयारी हो रही है, घर पे काम करना है. So you just tend to have no time to really get into all that mood. But internally it is operating, and I think after 2-3 months she had such a big boil here, she had to be hospitalized and surgery approved. क्या हो गया? It was just all that repressed sadness was manifesting in that form. So that's what is exactly pointing out. That can affect the body actually.
Yes, and the next section is that how the pain body feeds on the drama. And actually author wants to bring up is that through this, just say that if there are other people around, preferably a partner or a close family member, the pain body will attempt to provoke them, push their buttons, and as the expression goes, so that it can feed on the ensuing drama. And it's hard to resist another person's pain body that is determined to draw you into a reaction. And again, many relations go through violent and destructive pain body episodes at regular intervals. And author mentions about a young child, like how difficult it is for a young child to view, to see the pain bodies of the parents sort of clash. And then author says that this is probably the one way which pain body passes from one generation to another generation. So when the child, when one is young, he sees this pain bodies and sort of probably grabs them, and then again passes this on when he has children. And continuing on this section, and author says that drinking alcohol actually activates the pain body, and after drinking alcohol, the personality of the person completely change, and pain body takes over. And an author mentions of an incident that sometimes people commit some act of violence against their family members, and when the situation passes away and they realize that they made that mistake, and they may say sorry that they will not repeat that incident again. But author makes a distinction here is that the person who was committing the violence was not you, was your pain body which has overcome, and that pain body actually has not died. When the pain body comes up again, one will again do that violence again. And so that's why it says that probably it's very hard to stop those kind of things. And there are other situations like some couples who may think they have fallen in love are actually feeling drawn to each other because of their respective pain bodies complement each other.
Dangerous statement.
But this issue of drinking, so while a lot of people demonstrate violent behavior, especially after they have had too many drinks, I've also seen if people drink moderately, that it's not that they exhibit violent behavior at all or bad behavior. In fact, it is widely understood that small consumption leads to dropping of inhibition to some point, where people open up. They become more social. They lose their hesitation of talking and smiling. In fact, in business, it is considered that you
Good investment.
correct. And right, so I don't drink, and therefore it's a challenge for me also, because especially when traveling in Japan, they consider it disrespectful when they offer and you don't drink. But this violent streak is one extreme, but on the other hand, people become more pleasant also by having a, let's say, a glass of wine. So how does the pain body theory explain that?
I think by so there is a sense of what I should speak or what I should not speak when in general environment. So I think drinking alcohol relieves that. So then you don't think that what I need to say. You become natural what you are, and so that's why you become more freely and you talk. But if you have like these more negative emotions in you, then ultimately it will turn negative and you will bring negativity into the talk. You will like say कि ये अच्छा नहीं है, वो अच्छा नहीं है, and that's where I think
बॉस बहुत गलत है, बॉस बहुत खराब आदमी है, तो हाँ हाँ कह दिया, तो बॉस बैठा था, पता चल गया भैया. This is what he thinks about
someone who has lack of confidence or lack of trust in the other person. If these emotions go away by his having a glass, after which he is able to talk more freely and more confidently and is able to trust the other person, then in some sense this is not pain body manifesting itself. It is in fact one of the, maybe a negative emotion is getting rid of that, at least for that period. So I don't know how to reconcile. I'm not suggesting that for everyone to start drinking.
Rather than saying that it's negative emotion, some negative emotion is going away, you can saying that he is now less conscious about his probably self-image, or so because of that whatever he is natural will come out.
Right.
But that natural can be negative also.
But can be positive also.
Can be positive also.
Can,
yeah. But again, it's a little slippery slope,
yes,
because you can get carried away in that.
so basically what alcohol does, as I understand, is it affects that part of the brain which has the ability to process the feedback from outside. So the feedback which our brain is a part, I think it's called prefrontal cortex or something, which has a constant feedback from all over the body, and therefore that's how feelings arise. Any change in these causes the feeling to arise. So when you have a small amount of alcohol, the working of that part gets kind of impaired. So that feedback, it doesn't matter. So you can say whatever he feels like, because he's not seeing people in the same light as he was seeing them earlier. So a boss is not appearing like a boss, and a person whose friend's wife is not appearing like friend's wife, she's appearing like a woman, and then you can say all kind of things. And embarrass yourself and embarrass others also. I've seen it happen. So, the sense of self-restraint is removed because of the impairing of certain parts. It can be for the good, it can be for the bad. It can be for the good in the sense that people who are excessively stiff, to some extent they will become less stiff. But if they are not morally strong, then they will get into serious problems. So then they may behave in a manner which they will regret later when they will come to, as they say, to senses. It's a dicey. See, the person who introduced LSD in this world is a typical example of it. Richard Alpert and another professor. He, of course, even though says उसने मुझे कराया था, but some of the other person didn't investigate it to the extent this Richard Alpert, and Richard Alpert got transformed into a spiritual teacher, while another person remained professor will be thrown out of Harvard. So that's a thing which how it will work is really unpredictable.
So, continuing on this section of how the pain body feels in the drama, and the author mentions that in intimate relationships, pain bodies are often clever enough to lie low until you start living together, and preferably have signed a contract committing yourself to be with this person for the rest of the life. And he says that it can be quite shocked when, perhaps not long after moving in together after honeymoon, you find suddenly one day that there is a complete personality change in your partner. A complete changeover seems to be looking back at you, and in his or her, in her eyes, there is this hatred, hostility, bitterness, or anger. When she speaks to you, it is not your spouse or partner who is speaking, but the pain body speaking through them. And then the author gives this practical advice that it is, of course, not the real face, but just the pain body that has temporarily taken the possession. And it will be hard to find the partner who doesn't carry a pain body, but it would be wise to choose someone whose pain body is not excessively dense. Which probably means that
टेस्ट करना चाहिए, एक टेस्ट करना चाहिए।
आई थिंक पुराने जमाने में हम जो एक्चुअली बात करते थे कि संस्कार अच्छे होने चाहिए, which you say कि how well is your family and how well is it.
Good arranged marriages used to be like that. Yes. Find out about the family to the extent it's possible. Or क्या?
I think it starts if you start with the family. कि family कैसी है तो बात आगे बढ़ाएंगे.
If you do it on website, then the chances of finding it out are very little. Unless you take all the trouble. You can use website intelligently, no? To locate people, and then you take all the trouble of finding out about the background of the family and all those things. I know so many IIT students, my own students, who got into serious problems. Family discord, divorce at a young age because of inability to comprehend what we call the pain, the emotional baggage which a person comes.
Basically, we give so much importance to everything else other than the sanskar.
Because the way, even today, the way young boys and girls so-called fall in love, basically their superficiality which they are looking at. They are looking at this, I may say, let me put it more charitable, they are looking at the positive features of each other. There is no chance to look at the negative features of each other at all because they have not come to, the relationship has not come to that level.
You need to, you are absolutely right, sir. For example, all the parameters on which people look for their partner, on website or wherever, are either cosmetic and superficial, or they are related to the stuff like how much they earn.
Yeah,
right.
Because what parameters can you measure? It's only those which you can measure you can discuss. How can you find out, measure the कितने किलोग्राम एंगर है यार तुम?
वही मैं कह रहा टेस्ट होना चाहिए, संस्कारों का टेस्ट होना चाहिए।
बेटी को डॉक्टर बनाओ, उससे रिसर्च करवाओ तो कोई होगा जीन होगा, कोई जेनेटिक फॉर्मुलेशन हो, ब्लड टेस्ट हो,
कंपैटिबल है कि नहीं संस्कारों में।
तो नोबेल प्राइज रिसर्च है।
एक तो वो हो चुकी है हमारे एस्ट्रोलॉजी में हो चुकी है ना, वो गुण मिलाते हैं।
It does work. Some extent it works. Some extent it works, depending on how good the person has the ability to. Because it is intuition, it's not mechanistic valuation alone. There's an intuition involved. And some people have that intuition and they can predict very well.
So the next section is about dense pain bodies, and author says that some people carry dense pain bodies that are never completely dormant. Their pain bodies can never get enough and always are hungry, always hungry. They try to pull other people into their drama by getting them to react to pointless battles or court cases, or obsessive hatreds towards an ex-spouse or one partner. And the author says that sometimes people with such dense pain bodies can become activists fighting for the cause.
Yes, it is true.
So one I was reading this section, Arvind Kejriwal came to my mind.
I know personally of some people, and IIT Delhi people. एक थे हमारे, जब मैं खुद PhD कर रहा था, वो PhD कर रहे थे, and then he was doing MTech in electrical. He went to US, did PhD, came back, and then went into social service after working in IIT for some time. Then got into series of conflicts there.
You still doing that?
In 30 years.
इसमें क्या है दरअसल संस्कारों का क्या उसमें ये how do you what's the point here?
The point being made is that if you have a strong tendency of aversion, then you have a complaining attitude all the time. So, and then the modern world provides you with enough opportunities of righteous anger, so-called righteous anger. चारों तरफ बेईमानी है, लूट है, गरीबों का शोषण हो रहा है. Facts. And if you are prone to that tendency of anger, tendency of aversion, you grab on that and make that as a occupation, make an occupation of that. And social work done with that mindset will eventually be counterproductive. In the long run, there are known of at least 2-3 big organizations which got into conflict because not anger, but because of ego.
So indeed, social work is more fulfillment than worship for your personal gain.
Provided you have the right mindset. If you are doing a social work with an angry mindset, then it will become difficult. So sometimes it will give you satisfaction. And the time will come when you will get into trouble with your own self, with your own organization, because that anger is firstly directed at kind of an amorphous entity called society. Then that will find an opportunity directed against the chairman of the NGO. He is not going to be a perfectly enlightened being, definitely. कुछ ना कुछ तो गलत हो ही जाएगा. Latch on to it and get into trouble.
Just a minute. So this next section is about entertainment media and the pain body, and author makes 2 references. One
हम discuss कर चुके हैं film की तरह. But you are predicting what he is going to say.
But this is more about this violent films. That why do people attract large
or
people,
even people movies which make you cry. पैसे देके जाके रो के आ गए.
That's a nice way to put it.
right.
आपको पैसे सुना ज्यादा लगते हैं काफी. हमारे टाइम में तो 5 रुपए लगते थे.
तो बेटा हम लोग कहीं कोई टॉपिक चल रहा था. If you see the number of movies that are made in US, all English movies that you see, and the percentage of them which are called action movies or violent movies,
Quite high.
is astonishing high. और सब चीजें जो हैं they have stopped being made.
But surprisingly, very good movies are also made there only. We copy only most of the time. In Europe and US, some of the movies are absolutely stupendous movie.
तो इंडिया में ना इस तरह की बहुत कम बनती है, इस तरह की बहुत कम बनती है, वो बीच में बस वो पेड़ों के साथ गाने गाने वाली मूवी ज्यादा बनती है।
मसाला ही बनता है, यहाँ तो बहुत थोड़ी सी बनती है जो really thought provoking, and most of the time they are remakes of very few people have made movies which can, but there have been some people from India whose movies have been remade abroad. So that is quite obvious that movies have a strong relationship with Sankaras. What a movie one likes will depend on his movie.
And there is this second part which author is saying that at least especially for news media, that there is a tendency in the news media in general, including television, to thrive on negative news. The worse the things get, the more excited the presenter becomes. And often the negative excitement is generated by the media itself.
Yeah.
Arnab Goswami.
He seems to be constantly fighting.
He is at war with everybody.
But I think he must be a great enlightened being. How he survives in spite of all this. How he survives really. Every day he's fighting with people and shouting at them.
But then tell me, what does that tell us about the state of society where apparently those shows have high viewership?
Because we are all feeding on them. We all have a complaining attitude, we all have an attitude of trying to fault finding and trying to justify. This issue of righteous anger is a wonderful issue.
एक और तरीका है देखने का, societies and governments make rules which are supposedly, which will lead you to normal outcomes. So the government will not make a system where it will say हमें इतने लोगों को बीमार करना है या इतनी जगह पे बिजली फेल करवानी है. तो जब वो सिस्टम बनता है, जब वो ठीक हो रहा होता है, there is nothing to report. आप क्या रिपोर्ट करोगे कि बिजली ठीक चल रही है या कोई बीमार नहीं हो रहा? So it's not clear to me whether all this negative news is because हम लोग बहुत नेगेटिव हैं या बिकॉज वही न्यूज बनती है, क्योंकि जो चीज नॉर्मल है उसको कोई रिपोर्ट ही नहीं करेगा. उसमें आप सुनेंगे बैठ के क्या कि
so many positive things happening which are not reported. So many. There's a website made by an old man, retired bank manager out of his own mountain firm or whatever. goodnewsindia.com. ऐसा कुछ है.
So say you, आपने मुझे कभी मेहता का एक वीडियो भेजा था कंपैशन वाला,
देखा? तो बढ़िया.
Right. Now that lady is actually the granddaughter of Dr. B, जिन्होंने वो अरविंद हॉस्पिटल में आया. मैंने काफी उनका पढ़ा. She part of the one of the co-founders of a organization in US which is a service space, and they exactly had this view that the good news is not reported.
अब लोग उसको कितनों ने दिखाया टीवी में, कभी नहीं दिखाया.
But they have created a website called goodnews.com, and they have created a YouTube counterpart website where you have collection of all videos of good things.
I remember long back when I used to see TV, there was a series of programs on which channel, I don't know, DD or something, on the good news, good work being done by people at different parts of the country. But they eventually stopped and I learned people उसको win दे रहा था, sponsorship देने को तैयार था.
For example, so many people की award है. अगर हम अपने इंडिया के अवार्ड भी देखें, नेशनल अवार्ड में, जो सोसाइटी में अवार्ड करते हैं, उनकी स्टोरी में नहीं पता उन्होंने किया क्या अपनी लाइफ में. सर चाय की जगह हम ऐसे कोई चीज ले लेते हैं, जैसे